There we go. We're live. Theology Thursday. What is this? 19? High five. High five. Theology Thursday 19. Caught off guard a little bit. I didn't even realize it was 7 o'clock. We're sitting here chatting about random stuff. And so what? If you see, let me see how I do this below. Well, somewhere below. Okay. There. Okay. There. The screen is opposite, so I had a tough time. So you see the new logo. We've designed a new logo. And we tried to, incorporate that into our talk today. And what we'll actually be talking about today is we'll be continuing the discussion on the other commandments. So last week we talked about what it actually means to be fruitful and multiply and have dominion over the earth and the animals. And today we're actually going to talk about health. So let's health. Yes.
Oh,
so let's dive in. So we're staying in Genesis chapter 1, verses 29 and 30. And it reads as follows. God said, "See, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of all of the earth, and every tree with the seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has breath of life, I have given you every green plant for food, plants for food." So before I go on to the next verse, one thing I want to point out here where it says "see," and I didn't express it this way, but it's very demonstrative in the Hebrew language. So it's like see, like look. So when I read it or read back the interpretation, it's almost like somebody grabbing somebody's shirt and saying, "See, look, like this is what you're gonna eat. This is the food." And then we'll look at Genesis 2, verses 16 and 17, and it says, "And the Lord commanded the man, you may freely eat of every tree of the garden, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall die." So you'll see here, again, God is saying, so this is to Adam and Eve, eat fruit, every tree in the garden, but if you eat the tree of life, you're going to die. So, point blank, as it starts off here, it almost appears that humankind and even animals were made to be vegetarians. So what I want to do before we get into, the health and why we should be eating a little bit more healthy, I'll share my personal story. So I remember when I first actually, meeting Brooke actually got us on this healthy eating tip, because at that time when I met Brooke, I was still eating canned vegetables, collard green, glory greens, and a can. I wish make that face on camera. Well, never mind. So I was eating glory greens. I still think glory greens were pretty good. Did you say ugh? Glory greens were good for me. So glory greens, canned peas, canned everything. And we went on a Daniel fast, right? Was that what it was? It was. I don't know where you're going with the story. The Daniel fast, when I had Satan and all that stuff. Anyway, so we went on a Daniel fast, 20-day fast, and at that time, like I said, I was still eating meat, chicken, beef, everything. I had cut out beef. So I remember that I felt insane not being able to have like a turkey sausage or a turkey burger or anything like that. And one of my friends actually put us on to a vegetarian restaurant called, it was Soul Vegetarian. And what was the other one called? Everlasting Life. So I remember going to Everlasting Life, right? And the guy, Woodlands Cafe. Yeah, which is now Woodlands Cafe. But there's two. So there's one by us, and I guess it's considered Capitol Heights, that they serve vegan food that was very similar to regular food. It's my first real experience with vegan food. So I rush there after work because I had been eating salads. I'm like, I can just eat salads. McDonald's salads, like the old 20 days. Those salads would go in my stomach and out. So I was really hungry. So I rushed to Everlasting Life, and I go there, and they have this bean curd sandwich. And the guy goes, so what do you have? Because I was looking for a specific sandwich. It was a garlic burger, and they were all out. So he goes, we have this bean curd sandwich, and he was like, it's like a Chick-fil-A. And so I'm like, a Chick-fil-A sandwich? Yes. I'm like, give me two. So I get home,
And I bite into these vegan curd sandwiches, and they taste like cardboard. Like it was so nasty. So I tossed that aside, and then I'm like, I gotta eat. So I'm scrambling to get Brooke has me eating frozen vegetables. So I'm ripping up frozen vegetable bags. Peas and stuff is flying in the air. I just remember like feeling so insane because I was so tied to meat and like I didn't know how to eat healthy. So needless to say, somehow, some way, we became pescatarians. I thank Brooke because of that because I was still eating turkey bacon and turkey sausage. But what I noticed is, even during that time, like high blood pressure runs in my family, so I had to cut off the turkey sausage and turkey bacon because it's very high in sodium. Um, so when she decided to cut off chicken or not go back to chicken, we didn't eat it so much. So whenever I would eat it in like McDonald's or fast food, like it would start to hurt my stomach. So chicken went out the door, and then turkey went out the door. But I'm never gonna stop eating fish. Like fish is there forever. Sushi, crabs, all of that stuff. We did cut out shrimp. Shrimp is like so. It's kind of dirty.
I cut it out, but you
Yeah.
kind of cut it out.
I kind of cut it out. I'll still eat it from every now and then. But the main thing I want to portray here is like that weaning off of me. I felt so. I was mean to her. I was nasty to you, wasn't I?
Yeah, we went out to this restaurant called Vegetate, which is no longer in
Yeah,
business.
vegetate.
And he was just a jerk. And I'm like,
I had to
what's your
eat.
problem?
Yeah,
But that's
listen.
when you hangry and
Yes,
when you starving, you get a big attitude.
very big. So the interesting thing about this is, as it relates to food and some of the leading causes of death in African Americans, I think a lot of what we do or how we eat food wise or our lifestyle as it relates to food can prevent a lot of the diseases. So I'll also put this online for you all to see the top 10 leading causes of death for African Americans. The first one is heart disease, and this is from the CDC. Second is cancer. Third is stroke. Four is unintentional injuries. Five is diabetes. Six is chronic lower respiratory disease. Seven is nephritis. Do you know what that is? Okay.
Nephritis, nephrotic syndrome.
Oh, but it says it goes
Kidney, some of the
kidney
kidney. Oh,
disease.
yeah.
Oh, different types of kidney diseases.
8 is homicide. 9 is sepsis and sepsis. And number 10 is Alzheimer's disease. So to further extend, some of how at least we as African Americans, not necessarily fall victim to our eating habits, but how our eating habits actually affect us. They say this is from a 2009 study that in terms of the African American ambulatory visits, they said 46 million of those visits in 2009 were due to hypertension. So, hypertension is, you could prevent hypertension in a few ways: exercise, food. So that's another one. And another thing, where was it at? So you said the percentage of Black non-institutionalized adults ages 20 and over that suffer from hypertension is 31.9%. So 31.9% of our population suffers from hypertension for those who are over the age of 20. And if you think, I think I had hypertension or high blood pressure when we met. I was 30. So to have hypertension, I probably had it a little bit longer than that and didn't even realize it. So to have hypertension issues at that age, and I was still fairly in shape. I was still exercising, lifting weights, playing a lot of basketball at that time. So to still have hypertension and not realize it because of my eating habits, it could have been, pretty detrimental to my health. And number four thing I wanted to point out is the percentage of Black nursing home residents with hypertension is 53%. So more than half of African Americans who are in nursing homes suffer from hypertension. So now that we have this on the table, now that we have the commandment to eat healthy, to eat food, vegetables, that is. I mean, even if you want to tie in the story of Daniel, you guys can see Daniel chapter 1 where Daniel actually decides to eat vegetables because Daniel can't eat the meat that the king serves for religious purposes. So what he does is he goes on. People tend to associate what Daniel did with a fast, but based on the story, he would have never eaten meat in the situation just because he wasn't going to partake in the king's food. So you'll see that Daniel issues a challenge, and on the other side of the challenge, what happens is Daniel is blessed with the ability to interpret dreams, and he gets vision. He's able to interpret visions, and he and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
And that bad Negro.
And Abednego. Those weren't their names, but those were their names in chapter 1. But basically, they come out healthier than the individuals who are eating meat. So as a result of that, what they do is switch the diet of everybody who's supposed to be eunuchs and who's supposed to be serving at that particular time. So you see, like, even we get fragments of eating healthy in Genesis and in Daniel, but it's never anything that's, to me, from my perspective, that really pushed like very hard in the Bible. Because it's like paradise, eat fruits and vegetables. Oh, you sin, go eat meat. And you just people are eating meat throughout the rest of the Bible, except for Daniel. So here's the discussion. Why is it so difficult to eat healthy?
Because healthy stuff is not always available.
Okay.
So I know for being a pescatarian, where a lot of times I do eat vegetarian and vegan, and actually in many cases prefer that. Although I do love my seafood, so I'm not getting that up. But if I'm like need something quick, and I drive down the street, there's McDonald's, there's Wendy's, there's Burger King.
Can't get fish sandwiches? She rolled her eyes at me.
I don't really, the only thing I actually eat at McDonald's now is the Egg McMuffin. And I think I ate that like once or twice this year.
Egg McMuffin, that's it? Okay.
I kind of just stopped eating McDonald's. But yeah, I don't really want the bun with the fried fish sandwich and the delicious French fries that come with it.
I always want the French fries that come with it. And speaking of the French fries, have you seen, was it Fat, Sick, and Nearly? One of those documentaries where they leave the McDonald's French fry out and it doesn't change.
It does not get moldy.
Have you ever seen a French fry that you dropped on your floor like years later? It still looks like a French fry.
Yeah, that French fry
like in your car.
In the seat, it's still the same fry.
Yeah. So I don't think it's always readily available. Sometimes it can be really expensive. Like I know, like sometimes I go in the store and I want sometimes I'll go in the store and I want like a fruit salad. And then a little cup of fruit salad is like almost $5. Yeah, and I'm like, but if I just go buy this fruit, I probably would spend less or whatever and get more fruit, but I don't have the water to clean off the fruit. I just want something quick. So it's just sometimes just too expensive.
So oftentimes we choose convenience over health.
Yeah. And not on purpose. I mean, you just, if you're busy, you have a lot of things going on, you just kind of want something quick. And sometimes healthy stuff isn't always quick outside of a salad. Yeah.
And then those can be awful for you, like McDonald's salads.
They can? Just lettuce and
Yeah, well,
I mean, it depends. Or then sometimes those are
some of the stuff that go in the salad.
Sometimes if you go to one of those salad places, salads, I got a salad almost $10. I'm like, for what? It's like three things.
We don't want to deter people from eating healthy because now we're making it seem like, well, it's expensive, so you might as well just go ahead and keep chugging away.
No, I mean, it's not that you
quarter pounders.
You ask why that is why. Sometimes it is expensive. That's not saying don't keep chugging that stuff because you gotta. It's the cost to it. Either you pay the money or you pay your life. In the end, so
you pay for the grocery bill or the hospital bill.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So there's that.
So it's expensive. It's inconvenient. It can be expensive. It can be inconvenient.
I love me Aldi.
It's not as social. Like social eating is often a social thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you go out for like whatever, work lunches or dinners or whatever, I mean, who wants to order a salad?
Yeah, so I think now some places are getting a little bit trendy with
Mhm.
the health. So I think it's kind of working its way into society a little bit. But you're right, because even going out after I run, everybody's eating like chicken sandwiches and all this heavy stuff, and I'm making fries or I'm making a salad or something like that. Then I look around, I don't care anymore. But I used to look around like, oh man, everybody's really going in here like with a salad. But I mean, it is what it is now. What about the temptation?
What temptation?
Is there a temptation to eat unhealthy in the United States of America?
Stare at
Sorry, I
them.
was staring at the food.
As we're talking about health,
As we said in Wegmans.
exactly. So that's the temptation.
I
Pizza,
wasn't looking at the pizza. I was looking at the tray over there. I think he has French fries and a burger.
French fries, see, and right on cue, temptation. So what made your eyes wander that way outside of being hungry?
I like looking at food.
Okay.
Like, when people post pictures of food, I like to look at pictures of food because I feel like food can be very artistic. I mean, that wasn't, it just kind of looked good, but so I'm drawn to looking at food.
All right, let's break this down. What actually looks good about that? Because I see a greasy bun. I see
It's a buttery bun. It's about perspective.
All right. So then I see a whole bunch of fries, and then I see something that looks like meat. I don't see any green on that tray.
There was a pickle on there. That's
okay.
green.
Pickle and French fries. That's all I need.
So do you think, as it relates to our choices, as it relates to our temptation, do you think we're programmed to eat this way, eat a certain way?
I think that as a child, healthy habits can be taught, and I could have easily been taught to love strawberries and raspberries and blueberries, but I chose Hostess, or so I think it's harder to break those habits, especially as you get older. But if the education is not necessarily there, or in our case, we had a huge family, it was a little harder to. And I mean, even now, like then, back, like organic things weren't really an option, or fresh picked things weren't necessarily as real. But
one thing as it relates to the options, that some people may not realize is, have you ever heard of food deserts? Do you know what a food desert is? So for those individuals who are not familiar with food deserts, basically it's when you look at maps and stuff like that, they have these zones that are called food deserts, and what happens is you can't get fresh fruits or vegetables in these places because either the grocery stores don't sell them or there's no grocery stores in the area. So in the case of Baltimore, what was happening up there when they were protesting, I remember they burned down a CVS or something like that. And I remember people saying online is there are no grocery stores here. So like CVS and places like that were their main grocery store. So if you go into CVS, you're not gonna get, you're not gonna get tomatoes, you're not gonna get cucumbers or anything like that.
It's processed and it's expensive in there unless you have a sale.
So what else? So like I remember doing some research on DC Ward 8, like one of the DC Ward 8 is hey, how's it going? Ward 8, there's no problem. Ward 8 is the poorest ward. So to catch you up and to catch our viewers up, just in case somehow you came in a little bit late, we're talking about health. So our frame of reference in terms of scripture reference was Genesis chapter 1 verses 29 and 30, where it talks about pretty much eating the greenery in the garden of Eden, or Eden if we consider that to be the Garden of Eden. And then God actually commanding Adam and Eve to eat fruit and vegetables, but not touch the tree of life. So we talked about that. We talked about the leading causes of death in African Americans, which is heart disease, cancer, stroke, kidney disease, unintentional injuries, diabetes, chronic lower respiratory disease, homicide, sepsis, and Alzheimer's disease. So we're talking about why it's so hard to eat healthy. We talked about convenience. We talked about temptation because we were watching people pass by with burgers and pizza. Now I want pizza. And then now we were talking about the idea of food deserts.
Oh yeah.
So Ward 8, DC. I remember doing research there, and they consider that a food desert because you can't get fresh food and groceries. Now, and the crazy thing about it is oftentimes food deserts exist in the most quote-unquote urban settings. So it's not only that we're not taught to eat healthy, it's like we don't have healthy food options in general.
So much so that some DC charter schools have grants that fresh fruit is brought into the kids every day.
Yeah, and that's actually a good option. I remember we were watching another documentary where they were talking about teenage and youth obesity, and they were saying like Pizza Hut had contracts with the schools. Mm-hmm. So what happened is Pizza Hut was pushing out all of, you have pizza, you have wings. So they don't, since Pizza Hut doesn't serve veggies or anything like that, there were no healthy food options for the kids. And even if the kids did bring stuff, they were often going to get pizza or something unhealthy. So there's there's ties into why we might not eat healthy outside of just not being raised healthy, but also availability of systems in place that I don't want to say make us choose unhealthy options, but they're there in front of us, so we are in that mindset to reach for
It's a form of institutionalized oppression.
Yeah.
You don't, the way I see it, you basically, I don't know. It's sort of like if your worldview shows you that you only have option X, Y, and Z, then you will choose X, Y, or Z. And no one is being forced to choose it. It's just I don't know. It's just really.
It's really a system.
Yeah, it's a system. The whole food economy is structured in such a way that the higher up you are on the socioeconomic ladder, the more opportunity and agency you have across the board, whether it's education or eggplants. Like it's,
Yes, education.
I like that too. But I think it is kind of forced though. Like you say, you kind of could choose. Not really. Like not when you're on the lower end. Like if you're talking about a food desert.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Nothing's around. You're choosing what you're given.
Oh yeah, definitely. I meant no one is forcing a child to make an unhealthy choice. Like I'll beat you up if you don't choose this unhealthy thing. But the system, definitely. I totally agree.
Gotcha.
So good point, right? I remember taking a trip to,
No, it's an educational plan. I like it.
I remember I took a trip, immersion to South Dakota Pine Ridge. It's an Indian reservation, Native American reservation, excuse me. And it's the poorest county in the United States of America. The average income is $5,000.
Average income is what?
$5,000
a year.
Yes. 75 to 80% of the reservation suffers from some form of alcoholism. So I was out there for what was supposed to be 2 weeks. I didn't last because I got sick just because where we were at was I had an allergic reaction to dust. But when I say they didn't have fresh food and groceries, I would go into the grocery store and it had a small section. You could get like cucumbers, lettuce, tomatoes, oranges, and bananas. So when you say eggplant it doesn't exist on reservations. When you say mushrooms, I didn't see any mushrooms. And then the prices on the reservation was so high. So I remember eating, because I couldn't eat meat. I was going to eat meat. So I was eating salads and all the stuff like that. And I didn't realize like it didn't have any taste. So, but I had got accustomed to it over about a week and a half. And I remember going to the airport and getting a salad, and the taste was so different. So you figure, even though they have programs to get food to the reservations, the grocery stores and stuff like that, what they were getting was so beneath regular standards that I was used to. I'm like, wait, you can't even, so people here actually know what an eggplant is? Maybe, but you're not getting it on the reservation, and that was the only grocery store on that particular reservation. And I think the people on that reservation were from like California. So it was just, I felt so troubled because not only, were the people that they didn't have money, but then they don't have access to fruit and vegetables either. So,
well, and the things that they were getting could be considered commodities from the government. So it would be things that are farmed on these huge agricultural farms, mass produced, cheap to ship, low spoilage rate, and low nutritional value.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even take that into account.
Because cucumbers don't rot easily. Tomatoes, they put those on the truck when they're green and then they ship them. Lettuce was probably iceberg.
Yeah, it was.
So it's sad. And the thing is, in these food deserts, regardless of your background, your heritage, when you're in food deserts like that, like people are starving for opportunity, but their bodies and brains are also literally starving.
Yeah,
that's why you have the conduct issues that you see in school, the mental health issues that you see, the digestive problems that you see. It's because people are starving. I mean, you have your recommended daily allowance that they put on everything, but if you eat the standard American diet in the way that by choosing what's available in those areas, you won't meet that. You won't meet it. I mean, I've heard so many stories of little children who are in these food deserts and their parents finally get up enough money to put them on fish oil or give them, salmon or whatever, and the behavior problems just, wow.
Yeah, they were. It's good that you bring that up because they were linking behavioral issues in DC schools and stuff like that to kids not eating like a proper breakfast. Mm-hmm. So they were saying like if you give a child a proper breakfast in the morning, their learning and behavior issues tend to fade away. But if they don't have access to that, they're already starting behind.
Yeah, they're hangry. Exactly. They don't have the word for that yet.
Yeah.
Well, then they'll get diagnosed with like ADHD. And what happens to them? They're in the kindergarten to prison pipeline where they'll end up in prison eating, guess what? More unhealthy food. Yeah. So it just continues.
So got a little bit deeper than I was going to get. That's good. But, I mean, it's actually good. So food deserts, convenience. Mm-hmm. Another thing why I figure out it's a little bit difficult to eat healthy is I think oftentimes we focus on goals, but we don't focus on healthy eating as a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So it's like I want to lose X amount of pounds, so you associate your health with a particular number instead of saying this is going to be a lifestyle change. I think for us, we didn't talk about it as a lifestyle change, but it ended up being a lifestyle change. And for me, when we met, I was probably 174 pounds. I was still in pretty good shape, but I was having knee problems. So when we came off of chicken, turkey, whatever else we came off of, I think I dropped like 10 to 14 pounds. I think my sleeping became better. So things just started to happen once I started to eat healthy. And still, I pick out on stuff like pizza. That's my food of choice. But I think making a lifestyle decision as opposed to, I need to get down to 162 pounds and maintain that, I think it was a better choice even if we didn't do it on purpose.
That's how I lost my weight. I used to weigh 305 pounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No shade to anybody that you all may know that may be that heavy. And it took a number of years for me to get it off and keep it off. I've gained weight since I've been here, and I gained weight in grad school. I'm trying to get back down to my fighting weight, but it took a long time for me to get to even into the obese category. I was like super morbidly obese. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the encouragement.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we have that. Any other reason why maybe health is difficult to eat healthy? I think we kind of covered it.
Fast food is addictive.
Oh my God.
Like I am very sure that I'm sugar.
Me too.
They say
also
sugar.
really hard.
They say sugar's a worse drug than like.
Yeah, sugar and gluten. Yeah, dairy.
I think they associate. I can't remember the name of it, but they would associate sugar with cocaine because it produces the same dopamine effects as your
Yep.
brain.
Yeah, and dairy is like a morphine.
Is it okay?
It's the casein, the protein, the full name of it is casomorphine. They just shorten it to casein. But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely addictive.
Yeah.
And also if you're not surrounded by people who, my best friend's an anthropologist, so she would be like, it's also the culture, the people that you're surrounded by as
Exactly.
well. Sometimes you eat according to what you're taught. Sometimes you eat according to what you caught, like by observing other people.
Yeah.
So if you don't see them making healthy food choices, you imprint on that and you just follow that.
Absolutely. Especially when you look at like Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh. Even though I'm so looking forward to it, I know what's coming.
Or what we deem soul food.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that my family, the Dawson side, they still trying to get me to eat chitlins. It's not gonna. See, I'm surrounded by.
Stink if you take the membrane out.
So for Dawson's out there, you see, I'm not the only one that don't like chitlins. I'm surrounded by non-chitlet eaters.
Chitterlings. Yeah.
You don't have to eat that anymore, Dawson. You don't have
No,
to.
but people really like it. But
I've never liked them.
It's major though, because I was telling like Terrell, he'll have these times where he wants to pick out on like sugar, like junk food, like every once in a while, and I'm like, that is great because I eat sugar every day.
I can't. Like once I started, I cannot stop.
Every day because it is so addictive. And then the problem is it's in everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let me get this bread. Why is there half of the sugar in this bread? It's bread. But it's in everything, and so it's like it's a way to keep you addicted.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Corn also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I love corn. Yeah. I was
All right.
talking about eating ice cream before we started. I was like, ooh, I want some ice cream.
All right. So now that we have all the issues on the table, why it's difficult, what are some solutions? Because we don't want to be like, here's these food desert, here's these systems. Oh well, what are solutions?
Sugar Addicts Anonymous.
It exists.
Does that really
I
exist?
think it does.
Okay.
Whenever I'm in a position where I feel helpless, I feel my feelings like, okay, I'm feeling helpless, I'm feeling powerless, I don't like it. And then I'm like, okay, thank you, feelings. How do I access my power and agency in this situation? It can't be that there's nothing that I can do. I mean, maybe one day in life I will hit a wall, and I have had walls like that where I've literally not had very many options, but those are few and far between. And usually when I open myself up to that, answers will come, synchronicities will happen. And for me, I classify myself as a nutritarian, so I'm not vegan, I'm not vegetarian, I'm not an omnivore, I'm a nutritarian. So my diet is constructed around whatever I need at that time to help me feel healthy.
Yeah.
Because I have, I'm anemic and I have other issues going on, so I have to manage all that through diet.
Gotcha.
So for me, it's been educating myself and trying to find the strength to make good choices, even when it doesn't fit with what I know is coming for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
No, I think that's good. Education is a big one, and especially going to the doctor regularly to find out your labs, your information. I went today. Doctor told me that I was soft. And that was his nice way of telling me that I had more fat than muscle.
Oh my
He was like, he gave me some medical term and it was like, you're very soft. And I said, I'm fat. I said, I know that. I've been like that. And so he gave me some pointers on what to do. But I really liked him because he didn't just say, okay, well, if you don't do this, let's have medication talks about whatever, That's the first doctor who never said get on pills. And even though he saw that, like, I have high cholesterol, so he saw that I have high cholesterol. Every other doctor has always mentioned medication. And I've told every one of them no. Like, especially if this is my first time seeing you, we should not be talking medication. Or even if it's not, we should be talking about other methods, especially because they told me I have cholesterol when I was probably 19, and I've had it since. So we're not talking medication at 19 years old, So I appreciated that doctor today giving me pointers on different things to do. But I think going to the doctor, not enough people do that regularly to find out what is going on, or being educated about your family history. Knowing that you have diabetes in your family and hypertension and all these other things. Yeah.
I'm going to run through the list because I want to be aware of time.
Okay.
And then if you guys have any additional ones, chime in. So, first one, these aren't any in particular order, but the first one that came to my mind is get team support. So surround yourself with positive people on the path to becoming healthy or a little bit more healthy. So, like you said, you surround yourself with a circle of friends or a circle of individuals who are on the same path and have the same goals. Another thing is don't take shortcuts. There are a lot of fast and no carb diets, stuff out there that typically they often almost always fail.
Especially if you try them and then once you get to where you want to go and then you stop it, now you're gonna go back. Yeah.
They say now I'm gonna put a link on the website. I'm gonna give a shout out to the website. I usually don't, but I like this website. It's called Mind Body Green. So I like that. So I go there often to look at stuff, and I grab some things from this site. So it says think of food as fuel. So like if you think of your body as a machine or a car or something like that, you want to put high grade food into your body. Another thing they were saying, use social media for motivation. So follow people who inspire you to be healthy, whether it's posting healthy images, healthy videos, people working out. Another thing that we probably had talked about or touched on is using verbal affirmations. They had an example I didn't necessarily like, so I had to think about the example too. But I think verbal affirmations help. So like one of my affirmations that I didn't get back to was what I used to say is that I'm just trying to think of a handful of them. One of them was that I'm a good public speaker. So I had some issues with public speaking or people telling me I slurred my words and things like that. So to alleviate that fear or that mindset of not being a public speaker, I used to just read this thing every day.
So what's one for health?
I don't know. Let's think about that and get back to it. I don't know. So one for health is maybe I will have a healthy lifestyle despite all the challenges that I face every day.
That's really long.
I love my body.
I love my body. I will treat it. Thank you.
Is that one of yours?
Well,
you freestyle it?
It's on the list, but I haven't got to affirming it yet.
I love my body. I like that. I am healthy. Yeah.
Okay. Another one is get a coach. So there are health coaches. There are people who will help you with exercise. There are people who help you with diets and stuff like that. What I'll leave for that. It's okay to treat yourself every now and then, so you don't want to be so strict that when you fail, you give up. So I would say, like I said, I pig out every now and then. I'm fine. That good. I'm okay to pig out every now and then. I guess I am. My coach. You got it, but you started all this, so like. Be aware that if you didn't start down this path, you know about
hypertension.
Hypertension meds.
Yeah.
I would say try one new vegan dish or healthy restaurant per month. Because I think oftentimes we're not open or hadn't experienced different foods or food options. So we might be so used to eating one way that we think things are nasty. I remember seeing these videos, watching these videos where people are trying vegan food for the first time, and they're so like, oh, it's fake chicken. It has a toothpick in it. Why does it have a toothpick in it? They try to simulate the whole. But for me, I remember trying those and still eating meat. To me, they tasted fine. They were a little bit different taste, but as I started to experience more vegetarian options, more pescatarian options, then I became more open to trying different things to eat.
You know what I found? Because I am pescatarian as well, and I have not eaten beef or pork in 15 years. And I gave up chicken and turkey like 7 years ago. But anyway, what a lot of my people always ask me is, don't you miss blank? And I'm like, well, think about it. You don't ever crave just like plain chicken or just like straight up grilled beef. Like, it's the seasonings and all the other things that you like. And so the only thing that I ever miss is buffalo wings. And it's not really the chicken, it's the buffalo sauce. So I'd make French fries and put some buffalo sauce on them, and then you're fine. You know, like sometimes it's more of the thought of what actually is it that you're craving right now or that you want. Except when it's sugar. When it's sugar, I want sugar. I don't want an apple with cinnamon on it.
Maybe some caramel sauce on that apple.
And the last thing which we have mentioned already is to remember that that we want to make this a lifestyle and not just a number.
Yeah.
So focus on a lifestyle. Like I said in the beginning, you can look at Daniel chapter 1. Towards the end of chapter 1, you see that Daniel was actually blessed because of his lifestyle that he chose. We have a couple of minutes left. Do I want to get into this last thing? Let's get into as Brooke points to kids eating ice cream for temptation. That's another thing. Pray, rebuke the temptation. No temptation. Rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Temptation. So maybe we need to pray about our health situation.
And then she pointed it out to me. Did you see that? You couldn't just let me.
Get behind the stumbling block.
I know. Get behind me, Satan.
It's funny you say pray because when I lost my first 100 pounds, I was a part of a group at my old church called Pray and Weigh.
Oh, okay.
And it was pray, and you could say it as pray and weigh, like pray your way through, or WEIGH, whichever one you want.
Oh, okay.
And we would meet once a week, and we would talk about our struggles with food and how we did that week. And the young lady that was leading the group was in school to become a dietitian. So she would create meal plans for us. Like, I seriously think we were her project for all of her classes. And she helped us come up with workout plans and things like that. It was really, really helpful. And she also had a special focus on eating disorders. And having that group, I know it must have been like a year I was in that group, and it was so helpful. So you're right, like having the prayer and the team, that was one of the things that would help me be successful.
Yeah, and that accountability.
Yeah,
That's the big piece for so much of it. Yeah.
That's it. We wanted to keep it around 45 minutes because we can actually continue the discussion if you want. What I wanted to say to people on the line is, what I want to say. I say something different every week. We're growing. Yeah, we're growing. Follow us. TheOpenBox.com. You can email us, info@theopenbox.com. I'm at Mrs. Cyril Harris, at Landon Brooke, at Local Joko.
At local _ Joko.
At Local _ Joko. Peace and blessings. Have a good one.